talk about the rantings of a angry black woman. I'll see if I can get some people in here that normally are in here. If not, I'll just come back at a later time. But yeah. So today's topics. Well, today, excuse me, let me start it again. Today is the rantings of an angry black woman. Black Girl Rants. Any topic that you want to discuss underneath this umbrella is fine for this fine Sunday. But the topics that I just put up here that are actually making me angry today is number one, all of this coonery that I've been seeing this past several days. Straight coonery. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Number two, I wanted to talk about black women trusting BOK male panderers and being shocked that these men are actually don't care about them or care about black women in general. Number three, I want to talk about BOK women not being honest with themselves about what they want out of life, their heart of hearts, and why it is causing so much of a problem. Number four, femicide. Want to talk about that. And lastly, any topic that you want to talk about. Yeah. And these things I really feel like need to be talked about. And to be honest with you, I think I'm gonna start with oh, hold on, I got a guest. Hey, Miss Calandra, how are you doing?
Good, Trigger. I'm so happy I can catch you live. I've been at work like for 6 days, so I'm really happy I can catch you live. So we can just talk about anything.
Anything that's on your mind.
I'm gonna talk about maybe one
And you don't even
and
have to talk about one either. You can like five is any topic you want. So if you want to talk about
when you
anything
mean
else, you
black
can.
men panderers, do you mean like those guys in red pill content?
Or just like men, black men that pander to black women and act like they care when they don't.
Yeah, you mean like yeah, I know what you mean. I'm gonna talk about all of them. Okay, so when it comes to coonery, I think for people to be out here acting the way they acting about certain things, like you're not included in that, it's just a different level of delusion, and it gives third grade reading level. Um, Black women not being honest with themselves. Black women trusting black men panders. I feel like you have to be very weary of everybody kind of on TikTok, especially ones that have like a lot of followers because I mean most of them only care about money. Um and so when it comes to femicide, it's a sad case, that Ramika case. That was definitely heartbreaking for me to hear. I don't think we talk enough about black women femicide. But when it comes to that coonery stuff, you're never going to be accepted by white tea people no matter what you do, no matter how you think. So you might as well let those dreams go.
All right. I got you. Kalandra, let me go up here to, and I'll tell y'all the topic that I want to talk on the list. But I'm gonna go up here first to Jessica. Go ahead, Jessica.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a long time since I've been on here, so thank you for having me back.
No problem.
So I definitely want to talk about the coonery because the coonery is pissing me off. Like, um, Harriet Tubman didn't make a way for freedom for us to be this passive and brainwashed. And a part of me wants to have grace and mercy to the black community, but then a part of me is like, y'all should know better. And I'm seeing a lot more coonery nowadays than I ever have. And I think it's because it goes back to Cat Williams saying the liar knows the lie, right? And what is pushed out in white supremacy and this stuff is the tenet of niceness, of comfort over everything. So they look at us and say, we just want to be friends with you, we just want everybody to be harmonious. And like, if you look at history, when has that ever happened? When they said that to the indigenous peoples and then slaughtered them? Like, we have to stay on our Zoom. And I'm not saying that they're all bad, but I am saying that this is the culture and we need to be aware of that. And I think that we believe the lie that they're telling, that race isn't a thing anymore. And it's because we have failed to do our own history, specifically the history between slavery ending to honestly why the civil rights movement even happened. And I'm going to land my plane there.
All right, all right. I got you. I got you, Jessica. I appreciate you, sis. All right, let me go down here. I'm gonna let everybody else speak before I say what I was gonna say about the topic that I wanted to address. So let me go over here to Miss A. Go ahead, sis. Let me start your timer for you. Go ahead.
Hey,
Hey.
hi guys, hi everyone. Yeah, this live that you're doing. I wanted to specifically go on the femicide part. Considering what happened to that lady the other day. In America. What's her name? Roman Meeks.
Romika
Yeah,
Meeks.
yeah, 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 yeah. So now they've like the woman who unalived her has now been released, and like no charges have been brought up. It's actually insane. And I feel like it's just another way for people to just keep doing like a rage bait sort of thing as well. Like to keep triggering us. Cause why would she be released? After doing something like that, where there are witnesses, where people have seen exactly what she's done. I know obviously charges will be brought up later, but should she have even got any bail? You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you're saying. I looked it up or whatever earlier today, actually, now that you're speaking about it. They haven't charged her with anything yet. So she wouldn't have any bail or anything because she hasn't been charged with nothing. They just questioned her and let her go. But I'm gonna go ahead and go so everybody gets a chance to speak. Let me go over here to Geisha. Go ahead, Geisha Goddess or Geisha Goddess. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Let me send a request for you to turn your mic on. You there, Geisha Goddess? All right. You
Oh,
there?
I'm sorry. What did you say me?
No, I was saying the Geisha Goddess.
I'm
So
sorry,
Okay.
I'm here. I apologize.
oh, no problem. You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Oh, I'm Geisha, and I had just started to tune into you guys on the topics that you were discussing.
All right. So you didn't have anything to say?
Oh no, I didn't have anything to say at the moment. I
Oh,
was just
okay.
listening to everyone else. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. No problem, sis. All right. I'll go ahead and drop you down. If you want to say something, you can come back up, send another request. All right. I'll come to Miss Summer Chanel.
How do I turn this back on? Okay, y'all can hear me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It didn't put me on a timer. That is so odd. Do you see that? Oh well, if it pops back up, I'll see how I can fix it if it interrupts what I'm saying. But good morning, happy Sunday to everyone. God bless everyone. And I just come on here to say that how some cities, states, towns, counties, whatever you want to call it, is so like not only just racist to the black community, but specifically super prejudiced to black women and children. And let me just tell you the difference of what I've experienced personally, that makes me want to shed a little light on this. So I've lived in 3 different states. One being Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I'm currently residing. Atlanta, Georgia, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, I have been born and fully raised of my childhood and teenage years in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I explored those other two states, cities and states in my adult years. So, what I have experienced is that for the first, I want to say, 3 years of my adult life, for 18, 19, 20, 21, because I left when I was 21. And when I got back, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 30, 33, I'm 33 years old. What I've realized is that the prejudice, but from towards black women and children and black children, is not only from other races. Don't get me wrong. I live now in a predominantly white state, and there is a lot of racism here. However, I've experienced also a lot of prejudice from black um, people, and it's like a black on black prejudice. And it's it's
Okay.
happening through
All right.
like.
Yeah. I gotta cut you off. This is not the place for that. It's really not. I never seen you before. I never seen you a day in my life on this live. I don't know what type of person you are. But if the topic that I have is number one on here is coonery, I really don't understand like your whole thing that you would just start off talking about. You've received prejudice against other black people. You haven't received prejudice against other black people. You may have been disrespected by black people. I'm not going to say that that's not true. I've been disrespected by black people. I've been disrespected by white people. But this is just not the time or the area where all of the black people that I have seen participating in coonery this week with Charlie Kirk and all of this other things. Like, I'm not trying to hear about how bad black people are and how you live in a white neighborhood and how these white people that will seek to see you unalived are causing such a big problem for you as a black woman. Like, I'm sorry, you just got to kick rocks. And I didn't drop this lady. She left on her own. Like, you are part of number one. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's why she said, like, oh, I hope I'm gonna get a chance to talk. Like, the fact that there are black people out here that are so weird like that is so crazy. Like, you see a space that says angry black women, you see all these black women in here like talking about their experiences, and then you want to come and bring your big bucket up head up here and talk about how you don't like black people. If you don't like black people and black people treat you so bad, why you not over there in a white live and telling them how much you don't like black people so they can tell you, you know what, we don't like black people either, including you, sucker. Like, what are we doing here? It literally insanity. Like, I really just don't understand what is going on with some black people. Like, it's all fun and games to talk about, you know what I'm saying? The proper term is Sambo if you read the book, but people use the word Uncle Tom, even though it wasn't him. But it's so many Sambos on this app and tap dancers. And it's just like, what are the heck are we doing here, bro? Like, what's the freaking problem? Like, you really decided to bring your big bucket head up here and talk about black people? Okay, well, are you one of those black people? And this is the same thing when black people be like, oh my gosh, anytime, let's say there's a black celebrity poster, right? And then like black people be going in underneath the comments and talking about the person. You always get black people be like, oh my gosh, black people is the only people that talk about their people like this. The white people don't never talk about their people. I literally screenshot a whole thread on TMZ where they posted a whole bunch of white celebrities, Taylor Swift, Lindsay Lohan, a whole bunch of them. And it was a whole bunch of white tea people going in, talking about their faces, their bodies, saying how ugly they was, this, that, and the third. And I was thinking to myself, like, oh, wow, I could have sworn that black people were the only people that roasted their celebrities. Black people are the only people that get smart with somebody. Black people are the only ones that get ignorant. Like, it's just crazy. And like, honestly, for the fact that this girl went through all of that talk about her family history and where she lived at, only to just delve into coonery, is absolutely foolishness. Like, baby, you could have just started off with the coonery. You didn't have to like get to telling me your background and tell me that you was a coon. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, it just don't make no sense. Like I said, just completely delusional, insane. And really, it's just like I said, it's like It's like a sick. You're a sick Negro. I really don't know what to say. Like you're a sick Negro if you feel like you see a place a black woman get. Never mind. Y'all get what I'm saying. That lady, and once again, I did not drop that lady. She left on her own accord. And when she said like oh hopefully I'll be able to get my thought across or whatever, I knew she was gonna be on some BS, to be honest with you. I knew she was gonna say something inflammatory because that's what people always say. So like if it's a pick me or a person that's on some coonery type of stuff, they always say that first because they want to be able to, because they know they're gonna make you mad. But my thing is that I let her speak. If y'all notice, she only had like 1 minute and some change left to speak. She spent half the time talking about her background. But anyway, yeah, I let me just say the topic that I wanted to talk about, because everybody else that was up here mentioned what they wanted to say. But specifically, what I want to talk about is black women not being honest with themselves. And that, and also in the climate that we're in where men be wilding and stuff like that, right? And we know that men are wilding, black men are wilding, white men are wilding, everybody's wilding and doing things they don't have anything to do. You have a lot of like content creators and stuff that talk about men being bad and all of these type of things, which I can understand that. I do believe the large percentage of men is no good. However, a lot of these women that preach those things like really, really want a man. And they go behind the scenes and they degrade themselves and engage in pick me behavior in secret so that they can get a man, and they don't feel comfortable to talk about it out loud, the fact that they want a man or they want a partner. So they're making all these type of bad decisions behind the scenes. And I've seen this countless times here on this app. And what I wanted to say is I think that we should have more open dialogue about women that do possibly want to be in a relationship with a man, that possibly do want to date, that possibly do want to get married, so that there isn't this deep-rooted shame around women that want that, so that these women don't be behind closed doors trying to offer their panties up to Cartel Samuels and Saul and Black Guru and all of these disgusting black men and also disgusting white men. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's something that should be done. But I understand why it's not being done, because so many women are upset, which they have their right to be upset. But I'm just tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing black women not being honest with themselves or their audience. And that's yes, and just like T Scorpio said, she said, funny thing, we never said you can't be with a man, just don't make them your center. Absolutely. You are right. I think that most of us, at least that be on this panel, have said that. However, for some reason, these women are not taking that. And they are engaging in crazy behavior behind the scenes. And I think it is because they feel a shame, a deep shame for some reason, for wanting a man or wanting a partner in a life or whatever the case may be. And I'm telling you, I've seen egregious things that I have not told anybody because I'm not trying to be messy like that. But it's something that we really should talk about for real, because it is, I feel like, is helping. No, helping is a bad word. It's enabling black women to be taken advantage of. And I feel bad to see it. Even though it's some women that I particularly do not like that it's occurring to, it doesn't matter if I like them or not. I still don't want to see them in a situation of where they are being hurt, harmed, or taken advantage of. Because even if I don't like you, particularly as a black woman, maybe your stance is on something, I still don't want to see you hurt. And I don't want to see nobody playing with you. But anyway, let me go over here to Geisha, Geisha Goddess.
Yeah, I'm here. I was just flabbergasted by what the last chick that was on here was saying, and I'm like, whoa, girl, this is not the platform for that. But to go off for some black girl rants, I am one of those black girls that I am going to be in agreement with you when you say that I don't really in particular think that, it's not that I don't think I can trust a black man. I don't think, honest, I'm gonna just be honest, I'm gonna be real. I love my black men, I love my black race. I would still by all means do anything for a black man. But black men of America,
from my standpoint, they are not attracted to a voluptuous woman like myself. Why, I don't know. I'm only a woman that's roughly between 200, 250 pounds. My race of men don't, I'm not going to say they don't like me. I'm not what they are attracted to. And other races of men find me attractive. They find me intelligent. They open themselves up to getting to know me. But as far as for the men within my demographics, they're not approaching me. And I don't know what it is or what else that I can do to let them know that I'm interested. I don't want to leave my race, because they have eligible black brothers that I see that want to be in relationships, but they don't want to. It's like they don't want to be in a relationship with a woman like me, and I just don't know what else I could do.
I mean, I don't think that you should. There's nothing that you're doing wrong at all. Because black men like big Beckies all the time. Like, I can't tell you how many times I'm out and about and I see black men with big Beckies that are way bigger than 250 pounds, for sure. I see that often. I think that you know, what's for you is for you, but I don't think that you should ever be like thinking, questioning yourself because black men, some black men that may be around you are not interested in you, because at the end of the day, the majority of black men are not even going to be worth your time that you're going to want to entertain anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. So don't think that there's anything wrong with you, because it's not anything wrong with you, sister, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I really mean that too, for sure. Let me say, you guys, I want to ask you guys one question about the topic number one, coonery. Why do y'all think that, like, the black woman that just came up here and said all that stuff, like, what do you think is in the mind of someone that indulges in a lot of coonery? Like, what do you think that they're thinking about? Because I'm starting to, like, I'm starting to believe that, never mind, let me not even say it. And maybe I'll say it later because it's very controversial, like what I was about to say. Go ahead, Kalandra.
This is what I think, and this might kind of be far stretched, but I'm explaining it. So I think that oppressed people, the oppressor convinces some oppressed people that other oppressed people are the problem. And that's what I think the problem is. I think some black people follow respectability politics, and they feel like, well, if we all acted a certain kind of way, things like this wouldn't happen to us. That's what I think it is. I think that some people have convinced themselves that white is right, because I remember when my mom decided to move to Henry County. If you know about Georgia, Henry County is very predominantly white. And she was like, well, the schools in DeKalb, they just ain't all that. But with them white folks, it is all that. And I was like, the problem is, I think that many people want to be white because of how they're treated. And so you look at other black people, right? And you feel like because your experiences with black people, like that woman just said, but like I said, at the same time, you're still a black person. No matter what you do, they're still gonna judge you no matter who you are. They still think that you're beneath them as a black person. And so for you to have come up here and say the stuff that woman was saying, that's crazy to me, because I have worked with people of other races. You're not gonna sit up here and tell me that them folks be like, oh my God, you're so sweet. My aunt, for example, worked with a woman who was in the January 6th thing. Like, her supervisor was in that January 6th thing.
Yeah. I mean, I got you, and I definitely agree. Let me go up here to Jessica. Jessica has something to say too. In response to that, go ahead, Jessica.
Yes. So I think that the definitely Calandra, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. What she said is correct. I think it's just this we've bought into this hierarchical system, this cat system, essentially, and you don't want to be at the bottom. So you're going to essentially look around you, right? Because unfortunately, Black in America, we are at the bottom of this cat system. So This is why there is a lot of homophobia in the Black community, because it's like, well, I don't want to be the bottom, so let me look around and see, oh, you live in the hood, well, I live in the suburbs, so I'm better. And you have, like, I don't think what Black people are understanding is you have to sacrifice a part of yourself to be a part of their clique. And at best, once you feel like you get into this group, because you're never really in, like the woman below me said before, you are at best their pet. And I see it. I'm at my job, I see it, right there. I am now the threat. Oh, I was always a threat because I never conformed to the white standard, but there is this Black woman there that does. And guess what? She is their pet. She is their guard dog. She is their pit bull. And whenever there's a problem, guess what happens? They look to her to go into the confrontation. And so they can keep the illusion of purity. It's sickening. Like you said before, it's like, what I think it is like, okay, remember the 1800s where they were saying drapetomania was a mental illness, and that the enslaved Africans that were running away from captivity had a mental illness. Like, I'm like, no, the real mental illness is trying to conform to a system that is actively oppressing you. you know I think it's again, what I said earlier, I think it's a lack of knowledge of history. People don't understand that there were many steps out of after slavery that kept us oppressed and kept us down. So when we talk about, oh, our schools are bad, well, why are our schools bad? It's because of redlining that our schools are bad. Because guess what? The schools get their money from property tax. But when you aren't having people move into certain places, or you withhold housing loans and equity loans from Black people, guess what that does? It brings down that community. So then these schools are not good. So then you look over to the white people and say, oh, well, their schools are better. How do I get like them? How do I be like this? Like, it's, I don't know if I'm probably on a rant because it's so emotional for me, but if that makes any sense.
No, it makes definite sense. I totally understand what you're saying. And I have also seen Black women allow themselves to be used as attack dogs for white people. And I find it to be disgusting. I really do. And they do. Once you go out on a limb and you go and you defend and protect them, then they look at you like, oh, I don't know what she's doing. She's wilding. I never told her to do that. Like, I told this story a little while back. When I was in cosmetology school, there was this white tea girl that I was really cool with, and she used to let people play in her face all the time. And I remember we had just came in, and we sat in this particular section in the front, and she had put her stuff down, and I put my stuff down in the seat that was next to hers. That's where we normally sat. And these like Hispanic girls or whatever moved her stuff and put their stuff there and took her seat. And she was just looking, she was like, well, that I was I don't even think she even said anything. She just was gathered and was about to sit somewhere else. And I told her, no, they stole your seat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna let them do that to you. So I remember I went to the girls like, hey man, you took her seat, move y'all stuff. Y'all only doing that because it's her. Y'all wouldn't do that to me, and y'all wouldn't do that to none of these other Black girls in here either. So get y'all stuff, and they got their stuff and moved it. And they did go tell on me to the teachers or whatever. And they asked the white girl first about what happened, and she threw me under the bus, told me, you know what I'm saying, essentially, you know what I'm saying, that I just did it on my own. That she wasn't, you know what I'm saying? She threw me under the bus. And I was like, wow. And that really let me know, like, look at you. You look stupid. Cause you over here trying to ride out and rock out for this white girl and make sure that people respect her. And when she had an opportunity to even do a minimal thing for you, she didn't. You know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of Black people that do even worse than that. Like, will super go in, you know what I'm saying, on Black people for white people, and those white people would never do the same. And I do believe that that's a sickness, to where you want that white acceptance, you want that white validation, You want that pat on the head from white tea people. And I think it's insane to want that from a community that actively hates you. And they show you that they hate you in many, 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 many different ways. It's just like I saw today, Gary Owens. Y'all know the comedian Gary Owens that's built his whole career off of the black community, black proximity, his black wife, his biracial children, all of this stuff. This man was over here talking about defending Charlie Kirk and all of this other stuff. Not to mention that it seemed like since you built your wealth on the backs of black people, that you would never defend Charlie Kirk publicly. But that just lets you know that, like, white people, wrong or right, it don't matter what's going on, they're always going to defend their own. And that's something that I really wish more black people would do. Of course, there's some black people that do that, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Just like that sick Negro that was up here, that black lady, Jessica, what's her name? Jessica Chanel or whatever. Like, actually really, really crazy and scary behavior. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm starting to think that it's something deeper wrong with the collective of black people than we even realize. I believe black people are under some type of spiritual attack, some type of curse, something, because there's just no way that black people have to be the only ones that participate in this degree of coonery. And I'm not saying other races like Asians, that pretend to be the model minority and like cape and get on their knees for white supremacy, because they do that. But black people do it in a different type of way, and it's actually terrifying to me. I don't know what be wrong with them, but it's just like the fact I have unfollowed so many black people because of this, black women specifically, this type of coonery that I've seen surrounding Charlie Kirk. And I actually unfollowed a whole bunch of black women back when they were doing that whole the gingers are like black people. I seen one black girl. I follow her a lot. Let me not call her a black girl. She's a black woman. I saw this one black woman that I follow a lot. I've been on her live panels, everything. She always talk about this black power, that. She over there talking about the ginger white tea people are black and doing all this stupid stuff and just cooning. I was flabbergasted. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I couldn't even have her on my timeline. I was like, oh no, I gotta get rid of you, sis. Sorry. You gotta get gone. But anyway, yeah, like, I don't know. It's just a lot of coonery going on, man. And it's really, 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 really sad. And to see, and you can see the difference in real time, the way that white people, even the white people that are supposed to be liberals, the white people that are supposed to be on the black side and understand the blacks, they are also crying and weeping over Charlie Kirk. And that's what's crazy. It's like white people never gonna do what we do for them. Well, not me, but what a lot of black people do for them, because I would never do it. Go ahead, Kalandra.
I just want to say one thing. That girl that was in Dean's live roasted him and gave him everything he needed. And for me, I will always say this. I was not surprised by any YT liberal. I really hate to say it, but it was not shocking to me at all. Because like I was saying on another live, at the end of the day, those people are still YT. Yeah, you can feel a little bit compassion, but at the end of the day, none of the stuff that the Trump administration is doing to go after marginalized groups will hurt you at all. And see, that's why I said, for me, we should not be united with those people, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like when you see somebody in a fight. Yeah, you can try to break it up, but at the same time, if you're not being hit, and that's why I said all these folks out here, they're like, oh my God, I was so shocked. Why? They're white. I'm sorry.
Girl, I totally get what you're saying. And somebody in the comments, let me go back up here. It was Carter who said that Dr. Umar, let me tell you something. Dr. Umar, I just had a debate with somebody on TikTok in the comment sections right before I did this live, talk about I don't think that Dr. Umar is a hypocrite. Why not? Dr. Umar's talked about the black family and how important a black father was, only to be exposed for being a deadbeat. Dr. Umar talked about protect black women, protect our black queens, only to show support publicly for R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and Tory Lanez and Chris Brown. So my thing is that What in the world would make you think that this man stood on business at all? Now this black man said, oh, we supposed to stand up to white tea people. We don't let the white tea people play in our face. This, that, and the third. Now he over there trying to tell black people not to do anything in response to Charlie Kirk. What? That man don't mean nothing that he say at all. Dr. Umar is a disgusting human being. He takes advantage of the black community. He also takes advantage of black women that worship him. Do you know how many black women that Dr. Umar has had intercourse with and dumped? Told them that, oh yeah, he cared about them and got rid of them. Multiple black women that he uses for sex in these different cities and states that he go to, because he knows that they think that he's like some type of big activist that really loves black women. Like, it's crazy. Like, I think and what's upsetting to me about Dr. Umar is that when Dr. Umar first came out and he said certain things, I was like, okay, I definitely agree with what he's saying about white tea people. And I definitely agree with what he's saying about how black people, we need to come together and all of this stuff. For this man to go from that point to taking all this money from all of these people and saying he gonna build a school and essentially putting makeup on a pig, because that's what he's doing with that school. Like, if you go, because I follow this one girl on YouTube where she actually went to his school and filmed all outside of it, filmed everything. And he got it painted outside a little bit. He got like little signs up, but you can tell it's just to make people feel like he doing something, but he not really doing nothing at all. I don't know. Dr. Umar really blew me. Like, he really blew me, because I did think at least he stood against white people. Like, and he didn't. And it was just like, wow, like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Let me go over here to Gabrielle. And Gabrielle, you can talk about whatever topic that you want today. Today
Oh,
is
I'm
just
sorry. I think it
rants.
was on mute. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, you can talk about whatever topic that you want. Like, you don't have to talk about what I just said. You can talk about anything that's bothering you.
Okay, yeah, so I will say one thing, and this is just my opinion. I promise it relates to like 1, 2, and 3. I think all of that it can be attributed to like anti-intellectualism in the United States. Like, I have been doing a lot of reading and like a deep dive into just like this rising culture of like, hostility to like not just formal education, but just, like curiosity and nuanced thinking. And they're just all of those things just seem to be on a decline. And I think that is kind of, indicative of these issues we're talking about in the prompt. I mean, obviously excluding number 4, that's something totally different. But the first 3, I think that really does fall under that bracket, because I mean, this is 2025. How are panders still being fallen for? Like, what? Like, even if someone started off listening to one of these like grifters or content creators, I mean, in 2025 there's enough evidence that shows that these panders shouldn't be listened to or taken seriously. So it's like, why do they still have an audience? How are they still able to get like clicks and views and money and what have you? I really, really do think that's a big issue. I mean, and that kind of ties into number 1, like the whole Charlie Kirk thing. Like, I mean, like for me, anyone defending him, it's a red flag. I mean, this is the same man who said that the 1964 Civil Rights Act was a mistake. This is the same man who said he didn't believe in empathy. And now, like, I guess like the conservatives are like setting up this database, or like setting up this like website where they're like doing screenshots of like people's names like people's names and like their work addresses and their social medias, and like publishing it on the website if they like said anything that was even slightly critical about Charlie Kirk. Like, they are really like freaking out over this man who is, a glorified podcaster at best. I mean, for me, I personally don't care. I work for myself. I'm a writer. Like, you go to my LinkedIn, it's going to say self-employed. So I don't care if I'm on the site or not. I truly don't. But I just don't, like, there's no reason to defend this man. There's no reason for anyone to be following panderers. I mean, and then not being honest. Like, BW not being honest with themselves. Like, what does that specifically pertain to? Because I can think of like a lot of different things to say about that, but I just didn't know if there was some like a specific point that I should be like kind of honing on when it comes to that one.
Which one you said, Gabrielle?
Number three.
Well, I mean, you like I said, today you can talk about whatever you want to. I said it earlier. Black women not being honest with themselves because I feel like because right now it's a big thing where women talk about men and how bad they are, which I said completely understand. I'm not saying that I think that the majority of men are good. I don't. But I was saying that because of that, there are a lot of women that actually really want to be with men, but they're ashamed to say it publicly. So because of that, them not having anybody to talk to, I see them engaging in pick me behavior, bad behavior, choosing wrong men, like publicly behind the scenes. Like it's a lot of black women that have even come on my platform and said a lot of crazy things about men. But then I see that they're like begging men behind the scenes. And I was saying that I think that we need to create more spaces for women that actually do still like men, do want to be with a man or whatever, be with a good man or whatever the case may be. Or if you don't believe that men are good, or at least a man that's going to treat you the way you need to be treated. I think that there also needs to be a space for those women to feel like they can freely express themselves, because it's a lot of black women living in delusion and making choices based on that delusion.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I keep bringing up the anti-intellectualism thing, but it really is something I've been digging into. I really do think that that ties into number three because with the whole like the whole issue with males, like I'm the first person to admit that like males as a collective, I do believe are devolving and becoming increasingly unhinged, especially with red pill and manosphere. But even with that, there is still like just looking at it from a nuanced perspective, it's factually speaking that yeah, there still are some women who are in happy relationships with men who do respect them and treat them well and are faithful and all that stuff. And like to me, it doesn't make sense to like not to say like all men cheat, men can't love, because it's like then you're getting into gender essentialism and you're basically not accounting for, even though it's a minority, but like women who are actually happily married or happily in relationships or whatever they have going on. So it's just to me that the lack of like the not being honest with themselves, like I do think that's a big issue. Like there's actually a creator, I'm not going to say her name because I know we don't really name drop and stuff on here, but I follow her, she's great, but she apparently posted something about Charlie Kirk saying that, well, I don't agree with all of what Charlie Kirk said, but on this he was right. And I just like politely commented on the post. I said he also said the 1964 Civil Rights Act was a mistake, and that if his, I think, 10-year-old daughter was S8, he would force her to have the fetus or to carry the fetus to term. And then I guess she eventually commented back and she's like, oh, you know what, you're actually right. But it's like even that, it's like there is so much information out about this man, like the fact that even just posting that you think he was right about something, and then she did another video saying, oh, well, I don't follow politics. And it's like, respectfully, and this is just my opinion, if you don't follow politics and don't know what is going on in the political world, then maybe you just shouldn't comment, period, because there's too many things going on. There's too much stuff happening in this country with politics to be, commenting on it. Like you did not know that the man that you were posting and saying, oh, he's right about this specific thing has also said like 15,000 other things that are like horrendous and disqualifying. So it's just, I do think that kind of ties into number three a little bit. And I just think that, the lack of nuance, the falling for grifters, falling for panders, the rise of anti-intellectualism, the defense of somebody like Charlie Kirk, like all of that is like a greater symptom of problems in this country where like things like intelligence, critical thinking, nuance, it really is devolving. I mean, there is actually a study that shows that, and this is among all American adults, like 54% of adults in this country cannot read above a sixth grade level. Like that is a stat that's been out there, it's been well documented for a few years now. And yeah, I mean, I really think it's unfortunate. As far as number four goes, I have noticed that like the femicide rates are increasing, and I think that a lot of that is due to red pill and due to like the manosphere stuff. Like those groups, they're not just like 17-year-old boys in chat rooms. Like they're like grown men in these groups, actively, sharing ideas and ways to not just manipulate and control women, but to retaliate against, any woman who they think is challenging their, masculine, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I unfortunately I don't see the femicide rates going down anytime soon. I do. I don't know. I mean, I just think that, when it comes to men or males, I think it's very important to be mindful that a lot of them really are, going down these rabbit holes and, like becoming mass shooters and like taking out, their violence, out against women and girls, justifying violence against us. I mean, I almost don't even know what to say. I know I'm rambling. I've got about like one more minute, but I really just think that, I like triggered. I know you said that there have been women who have come in your lives and said that they don't take any mess from men and they're this and they're that, which is great. But then you said they've been in other lives pandering to male content creators. And it's like, I don't understand that. Like to me, that is just mind blowing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll land my plane there, but I do think a lot of what we're seeing, a lot of these prompts, obviously excluding number four, do boil down to like the rise of anti-intellectualism. Because if someone does not have the capacity to critically think and recognize nuance, then that's going to impact the decisions they make. It's going to make them more susceptible to grifters, and it's going to make them do stuff like post political videos of a guy who said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake and then followed up saying, oh, I'm not a political person. It's like they don't comment on politics. But that's just me, and I will land there for now.
Sorry, it wasn't letting me unmute myself. I'm sorry about that, Gabrielle. Definitely appreciate you. I want to know, Nada We thinks that in the comments, apathy is the problem. Lots can be done. It just takes honesty and will to do it. Like, I want to know for Nada We thing, apathy is the problem for who and what exactly would be the work and how could we fix it and who would be in charge of doing the fixing and what would actually be fixed. I would like to know that if you could let me know, not a we thing. Now let me go down here first though to Miss Chrissy baby and then Chilotam. If you there,
Good morning, ladies.
hey, how you doing?
Okay, can I be like mad transparent? Is this a safe
Absolutely.
space?
Absolutely.
Okay. It's really difficult to navigate as a Black woman because there's like, I don't know, I feel like there's um things thrown at you from all directions. I'm in a unique position where I'm in a white male dominant occupation that I'm there 6 days a week. So I hear all of the stuff online probably a little more unfiltered in the background. Um, how can I say this without sounding? I don't know where to, I don't know. Like I've seen a lot of the videos, and like Gabby said, I've been a little disappointed by some of the takes with since the CK situation. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing things on a broader perspective. Like, is there a thin line to where you're advocating against male violence, especially within the Black community, and mushing that in with the Charlie Kirk stuff? I'm not sure if I feel comfortable with that. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm trying to like talk in code. I don't know if anybody know what I'm talking about. Um, I don't know. It's really hard right now. I think people that live in like mostly um, in communities where there's more of you, it's probably easier because it's a little bit of an echo chamber, but it's a little more isolating, I guess, to be in the real life environment where you're literally the only one. I'm hearing like all this stuff, and then the the Black people are men, and they kind of don't have your back either. So I think like I don't know. I guess it's been kind of disappointing. Am I making sense what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say it without saying it, but I think under
I think you got to. I think you got to just say it.
no circumstances you should agree with anything Charlie Kirk says, regardless of how we're treated by our own men in our community. I'm completely, I don't know if I'm completely in agreement with that. Um,
Oh, okay, I get. So you're saying you don't think that we shouldn't agree with Charlie Kirk is what you're saying.
under any circumstance,
Okay, so are you saying okay? So you do believe we shouldn't agree, or you don't believe that?
I don't
Okay,
think we should agree with anything he says. I think some of the talking points I've seen just scrolling through is because we have our issues with black men within the community.
yeah.
I don't think Charlie Kirk should be the launching board to continue those conversations. Does that make sense? Like,
Absolutely. I said that when it first happened. The sheer amount of black women that I saw that be mad at black men, which I understand, right? But you being mad at black men and you using your anger and hatred towards black men to turn you into a raccoon is something entirely different. For you to ever stay on board with anything that this man had to say and say, oh yeah, he got a point, I feel like that's goofy, coonish behavior. Because if somebody, and I said this before, if there was a child molester and he said some things that were right, nobody would say, oh yeah, he's right about such and such, because they would be ashamed. They would feel like, hey, I don't want to be connected to a child molester. That behavior is ridiculous and I can't be on board. Or if it was Schmittler, okay, and they were like, yeah, he did all that to those people in the, in the gas chambers and stuff. But I agree, he did have some points about this, that, and the third. Nobody would do that. And the reason why I feel like black people are so easily willing to align and give some type of credence to a person that is racist against black people is because subconsciously they have devalued not only themselves, they devalue black men, black women, and also their black daddies. Because people act like when you come in this world, you don't have a man that contributes as well as a man and a woman. So you're degrading both sides of yourself to go ahead and uplift this white T man. That's insane to me. Like, even if the man was, let's just say he was right, which he wasn't, because everything that he said was lies. He lied about so many statistics, so many things. But even if he was right, why would you ever publicly get on board with a white racist against your own people, even black men? That doesn't make any sense. It should be a situation where you can talk about them, but why would you let some white people come in and say anything? That just doesn't make any sense to me. And honestly, the black women that I've seen have those takes, and that if I like followed them, they get blocked ASAP, because I'm not about to play with you. Like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. And it means that you subconsciously have devalued yourself and you feel like it's okay to be racist against black people and that's acceptable, but all of these other things are off the table. And that means that you got some work that you need to do. It's really just that simple. Like, ain't no way in the world. And the thing about it is, how many times do white people have to show us that they'll never do that? They'll never tell you that you right and go against their people. Whether it's they white women complaining about white men all day long, talk about how the white men be busting them in the head, knocking between the washer and dryer, cheating on them, not doing no housework, telling them get in the kitchen, do this to shut up, all of these things, and they would never, I don't care what a black person said, they would never say, oh yeah, okay. Not the collective of them, they wouldn't. So, well, why are black people doing it? That's all I'm saying. I just think it's like literally insane. It just don't make no sense to me. But normally when I say things like that, people be like, oh, you just want to defend and protect black men. No, I don't. This is more about me looking at black people collectively. Because when he says things about black men, he don't mean not you. He doesn't mean black women are an exemption. He means black women too. Just like he said, moronic black women, ignorant black women in customer service. He don't want a black woman to take care of him in places because black women are stupid. He said black women don't have the mental
the brain
processing power.
capacity.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? He means you too. So for you to ever say, oh yeah, he got a point. Like, so what? Like, I don't know, man. I totally agree with you, but it's some black women that
Yeah.
don't think that though.
I feel like, and again, I agree with you. I'm totally against what the black men in our community are doing to us, but I think that's an in-house conversation that
Yeah.
outsiders shouldn't have to. What I don't think, I don't want no. And I think that made me kind of feel away. Like, what are we doing? No, I think that kind of almost diminish and take away the credibility of the conversations we have within our own community with our I don't like saying own, But with black men in our community, I think it kind of devalues it if you know what I mean, say that races have a talking point that makes sense. Like we probably, you know what I mean. I think that's something we should have amongst each other, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
I
nah,
don't
I
know,
definitely get you.
it's been awkward scrolling. I would say that it's been
Yeah, I
awkward.
think so too. And I think definitely it's an in-house conversation. Like, I don't have any problems discussing black men in the black community with other black people. But will I ever talk to a white person about this? Or an Asian person about this? Or a white Hispanic or white Latino? No, no, no. Would I look like talking to them about anything? That's just goofy. But Cheska said that she has something to say. And if you could just, I'll give you 2 minutes because then I got to go down the wheat thing. It's not a wheat thing. That way I can hear what she was about to say. Go ahead, Cheska.
Yes, I will definitely do that. I just wanted to go off the coattails of what she was saying, because I got into an argument with this chick who was sending out thoughts and prayers and deepest condolences, she said, to the whole CK incident, and I said, sis, he doesn't value your actual life as a human being. And then she wanted to backtrack and say, oh, well, I'm not really into politics. And I'm like, maybe you should be, because unfortunately in America, being a black woman is just a political statement. Your existence is a political statement. So maybe you should go into it. I'm not saying be die hard. I'm saying, but you need to stay on your Zoom about it. And what she was trying to say to me is, well, this is bad for the black community because now they're going to blame us for it. I said, again, they were going to do what they were going to do regardless of the situation. Claude KC, like, look at it. It wasn't even us that did it, and the HBCUs was having to go on lockdown. They are itching for a reason to put us on trees again. Itching. We have to stay on our Zoom. And I constantly say, the biggest statement that we can have as a black community is to stand in unity. Like this whole rise of black conservatism, it is dividing us in a way that it doesn't need to divide us at all. I think that we have been heavily disappointed with the Democratic Party. So there's been this rebound. And I think also black men have seen that they can get the illusion of power with being black conservative, which is only further propagating the white supremacy. And I will land my plane there.
All right, all right, all right. And I definitely agree with you, Cheska. But I also think something to note is that a lot of black conservatives are not black American people that are, or FBA, foundational black American, whatever you want to call it. I'm not saying that it isn't some, because it is, but a lot of them are not even weren't even born here, that start up with a lot of that hootenanny, because it's been a lot of like super coons that I have seen this week, and I go and delve deep, and they are, Nigerian, Kenyan, Cameroonian, Haitian, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, oh, okay. So now y'all got us looking like the black American people are totally buck broken, when it's a lot of y'all that come over here from other places, and y'all come over here from other places, and then y'all ruin our image and make us all look super crazy when y'all shouldn't even be opening y'all mouth to talk about anything in the first place. It's very upsetting to me. And I'm just like I just saw a whole debate of this dude that was Nigerian, that was talking about how black people is black on black crime, and black people killing people, this, that, and the third. And the dude asked him, hey, so how come you know about black American statistics, but you don't know nothing about your people in your own country and what they be doing? Like, exactly. Why are you're not even part of our ethnic group. Why are you even, it's real crazy. It's a lot of stuff that go on over here that I'm just totally against, but it's all rooted in my opinion, black American people, which has always been our downfall, being far too inviting, letting everybody come in. The same way we want to give out cookout invitations, we do the same thing with people that look black. They're, oh, you got black skin, so we the same, come on in. And then when they go and do some underhanded stuff, or say that, oh yeah, our parents told us not to talk to y'all, or y'all don't work, y'all lazy. You know what I'm saying? But we not lazy. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. It's like, then you looking like, oh, okay, with the stupid face. It's like, why did I even accept you over here in the first place, when you on the same type of time these white people are on? Because to be honest with you, I've seen so many people that are not black American. I think I seen more of them doing the cooning. But, it still make it look like it's all of us. But Anyway, let me go down here to not a we thing, because I did want to know what you were saying when you said that it was like apathy and that we could do a lot of things to fix this. Because I didn't know what you meant for we could fix this with black men or what.
I think that this would be in order to like, I'm talking about femicide when I was talking about like apathy, and there is a lot that can be done to fix it. And I don't think that it needs to be, or it will be effective if we just exclude it to like black community or black relationships. I think that in order to like end femicide, we would have to unite with other races of women specifically, just like back in the day. And I know white feminism has done a lot, but feminism has done other great things outside of, maintain racism and white supremacy. One of the reasons why domestic violence is even considered a crime is because of feminism. One of the reasons why sexual harassment is taken seriously in the workplace, from the Me Too movement, that's a more recent one. But, a lot of these policies that we have now that we benefit from came from feminists of all different races within the 70s. I was watching a documentary on Netflix. I can't think of the name of it right now, but that's where I learned about this information. I think that what I mean by there's political will, and this is going to be a controversial statement, so everybody, please just let me land my plane. We need another crime bill. The reason why I say that we need another crime bill is because the crime bill was, even though y'all don't want to admit this, and you're probably not going to admit this, the crime bill was sort of effective. Like, it was not the case where it was simply black males that had dime bags of weed that were going to jail because of that. No, a lot of the times they would plead down for more large cases, from bigger charges, or they would cooperate so that, they would get their lesser charges. So it may look like, oh, they're just in jail for weed, but they've done other horrific things. I'm saying that a lot of us think that, and I also don't agree with the perspective that, oh, we just need to handle this in-house. That's the ideology of abusers, where everything just needs to maintain in-house and we don't need any external help or any external solutions. If we, even us just in this panel, if we start bringing awareness and talking to our local and our federal politicians about femicide, if we go to the domestic violence or the gender-based violence people within our communities and try to help them to push policy, we can get things done. There was a lot that was done on behalf of Black Lives Matter and police brutality. As of recently, in Illinois and Chicago, where I'm from, they passed a no cash bail law because, a lot of black people and white people were complaining about how poor people are, it's not fair to poor people to have to sit in prison when, richer people can just bail out and go out of prison. If we looked at this more from that type of perspective instead of this whole community or black things, there would be a lot that can be done. I think that unfortunately, a lot of people do not take sexism and misogyny, no matter what the race is, seriously. And that goes back to patriarchy. But just as, things were worse for women in the 60s and 70s and 50s, and they managed to give us some policy relief, we can do that today.
Okay. I did have a couple things to say. Like when we talk about keeping it in house and keeping it out, I know, I'm pretty sure I can speak for Miss Chrissy, baby, but she can tell me if if she disagrees with what I'm saying. When I mean keep it in house, I mean keep it amongst black people. What in the world would I open up my community for a discussion or debate about black people and what black men and what black women are doing when white people are far worse? When white people have done everything under the sun to black people, they still do everything under the sun to black people. Black people still, they are not allowed to go to certain places in sundown towns. There are still black men and black women that are semi-truck drivers that are disappearing or being found unalive, strange fruited on the trees. White people are still raping and molesting their own children and getting caught having intercourse with dogs and cats and animals and all of these type of things and doing heinous, egregious things. What do I look like asking them for help? Hey, can you help our black community? Can you tell us what the problem is? Can you, Pacey, come in here and tell me what the problems are? You will never hear a white person ask your black self, not you, not a we thing, I'm just talking about in general. You will never hear a white person say, let's not keep it in house.
Let's let the blacks make some decisions about what's going on in the black community. Let the blacks tell us what we're doing wrong. They'll never do that. But however, that's something that black people entertain. And it is because black people have been mentally buck broken to believe that white people are some type of moral superiority when they are not. They literally ate black people, discriminated against black children, stomped their heads in, did all of these type of things, did unalive black people, put them on postcards and sent them all around and had a good time. Made black people's bodies into soap. And you think that it's something that we should do to let white people come in and say anything? And then when it talks about the crime bill disproportionately affected black people as usual. If you didn't know, white people are the main substance users, the main substance abusers, the main substance sellers. However, who is incarcerated the most for it? Black people, black people. So why in the world would you let a group of people in house to say anything about you when they have no right to say anything at all, when they are the problem? How are you going to look to the problem for the solution? That doesn't even make any type of sense, like at all. And then when it comes to feminism, anytime black women have aligned themselves with white women, yes, we may have had residual benefits from them and their fights for their rights to be seen as humans by white men. Because we all know that white men are the OG misogynists, the OG oppressors of women, right? So anytime, I'm not saying we haven't received any benefits from that, but if it comes time for something to really help out black women, white women play crazy. Oh, I don't know. What? I don't even know what black women are. Where y'all at? We are left hanging on the wayside, which is why so many black women decided to become womanists, because they were like, you know what? These white tea heifers, they never gonna be down for us. Like we are trying to fight for everybody as a collective. So putting your faith in white tea people on any level is insanity. Thinking allowing white people to make any type of discussions about black women, about black men, about black boys, about black girls, when they literally have their children going to schools and peeling people's muffins completely back, when they are out there raping kids for 5, 6, 7, 8 years and getting probation, like that one guy that was all over TikTok that raped a child from 7 to 12 and only got probation, like, and he doesn't have to report as an offender. Like, we got to be real here. Like, that's insane. It's literally insanity to even think that way. But I think it was Calandra that, like, okay, you said all races. Any race of people that you allow to come in and say anything to black people is insane. All races have their own individual issues. Asians over there are unaliving their own women, beating the brakes off of their women so much that their reproduction rates are not being able to, they're not replacing. They're not on the replacement rate, right? The women are tired of the men over there. You talk about Indians, they're over there unaliving women, raping women, doing all type of things. You talk about any other race of people, the same thing applies. So why is it that black people are the ones that have to acquiesce to other races for them to tell us what's wrong with us when there's something wrong with every community? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Would I look like asking an Asian? Would I look like asking a Hispanic? Would I look like asking a European? Would I look like asking an Indian or an Arab when they don't even let their women speak out loud? Why would we ask them for anything? It just doesn't make any sense. Like I said, it's coming from a buck broken place of mind that you feel as if other races that are in just as much as chaos can help us. They cannot. They cannot, nor would they. You just make them feel better about themselves so they can say, there, poor Negro, poor Blackie, look at your community. It's in shambles. While theirs is in equal shambles. But you coming to them like they supposed to help you. Like, what? Go ahead, Calandra.
To respond to that, because I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree with that so much. At the end of the day, a lot of other races of people and people from across the ocean have white tea perspectives about American black people, and I have heard it a lot. And also, I wanted to say they want us to go out and protest and say, no, like you said, Trigger, just like that girl that you said, Trigger. She wanted you to protect her, but they don't do the same thing to us. No, I'm not gonna agree with that. Black women need to stand with black women, because at the end
end of the day, and I really hate to bring up the election, but I'm really gonna do that. Some of them same people was saying all that stuff about black women are ghetto. Kamala Harris was this, Kamala Harris was that. But when black women were trying to say she might not be the best, but hey, it's a lot better than what we got. Them folks did not believe in none of that. And I'm sorry, but I am not standing. Matter of fact, don't even call me a POC because I have experienced racism from Asians in nail salons. That's why I don't go in nail salons. I will experience racism by them. And at the end of the day, a lot of them think about us the same way that white tea people do. And when it comes, like y'all said about Africans, in particular people who are from Africa, they believe they don't look at systemic racism that black people face in this country. When you're on these apps and you're feeling sorry for Charlie Kirk, you don't look at the systemic racism that we have faced for years. We have faced this for years. Systemic racism is real, even in education. And when you make that come by us standing with them, when it comes to black children dealing with YT women who are their teachers and they're being suspended, I have seen firsthand some of the things that YT teachers say about black children. And I have to stay professional at work. But at the end of the day, those people do not stand with us. When it comes to black women being unalive by the police and things, they don't stand with us. When it comes to black children, they don't stand with us. So no, I'm not gonna stand with people who have YT beliefs about me. No, I am not, because the problem with a lot of us, we want to fit in with a white society that will never do that. Like Malcolm X said, you cannot expect a system to protect those who it wasn't designed to protect. And when it was time for y'all to at least think about voting for that woman so we wouldn't have to deal with the man we have now, they couldn't do that. You called her every racist name I've seen about them. And at the end of the day, a lot of them, people of other races who are not white tea, they think that they're white. And now they're in the time where you're seeing you're not one of them and you want black people to protect you. Absolutely not. I won't.
Yeah, I see in the comments, I agree with what Calandra said for sure. Not a wee thing, you said black people also have white tea supremacist beliefs and you want to unite with them because at the end of the day, we're black. We're black. And a lot of things that black people have, which I agree that there are some black people that have been internalized with indoctrinated with white tea supremacist beliefs. That is something that we can't help. I believe that across the diaspora, that in some way, shape, or form, all black people, regardless of what your ethnicity is, that you have been indoctrinated with some type of form of white tea supremacy. It's impossible to avoid it. However, at the end of the day, we're black and black people are strongest together as opposed to allowing outsiders in. But I'm gonna go to Miss Chrissy Baby so that she can say what she wanted to say about in-house, and then I'll allow Not a Wee Thing to respond. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy Baby.
Kalandra really kind of drove home what I was trying to say. I guess I was trying to be too politically correct, but I'll even go further. In my opinion, from my observations, from my travels across the United States, black women are all we got. I think even we have to go deeper to in-house amongst each other because we are the bottom of the hierarchy. Like clearly what nobody listens to anything we have to say anyway because we're not respected. Like we're legitimately not respected. Even the way we're treated by the men in our own community is due to how the white supremacist hierarchy is ran. You know what I mean? So I feel like for me, I rather build sisterhood and understanding and education with black women. And if it trickles down to black men after that, that's fine. But like for me, I don't see allyship anywhere in real time in my everyday life. I don't see allyship with anyone, any community when it comes to regards to black women. And I think us reaching up to try to find someone to pull us up is what's putting us behind because then you have like the 50% of the pick me's and the like all this stuff or whatever. I feel like we're not in community with each other because I feel like black women are the strongest and the most intelligent and the most vibrant and the most spiritually aligned peoples on the planet. And I feel like a fracture within ourselves is what we need to fix first. Like I think we've been trying like help us, join with us, unite with us, stand with us forever, and nobody's doing it. Nobody cares. Nobody's listening to us. That's just my personal belief. I'm in aviation. I am 0.01% of the workforce. I see it on a daily basis, every day of my life for the past 26 years. We're alone out here, and I think Black women being fractured is the problem. I think when we turn our backs on everybody and work on ourselves and do what we need to do, maybe possibly it will trickle down to other communities or even our own community. But if it don't, at least we have each other, because I want someone to name who's our true ally outside of ourselves that stand 10 toes down for Black women. I want someone to name an ally.
I think you'll be waiting on that forever, Miss Chrissy Baby. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Miss Chrissy Baby said as well. And I really do believe that, like she said, instead of holding your hands up and expecting somebody to help you, the best help, the most help that's gonna come in the form of another Black woman. Is every single Black woman gonna help you and protect you and defend you and uplift you? No. But you have a way greater percentage of an outcome of that happening amongst Black women than you do anybody else. So as opposed to waiting for the white T man to save us, or which I find completely laughable, the white woman to save us, we need to work on saving each other. We need to work on building sisterhood. We need to work on building community amongst Black women. We need to work on arming ourselves, because Black women are one of the fastest growing groups of pew pew owners. More Black women need to do that. More Black women need to arm themselves and make sure that they can protect themselves. Waiting for white men to protect you or pass a bill to protect you is foolish. Waiting for white women to do something to protect you is foolish. Waiting for Asians to protect you is foolish. Waiting for Indians to protect you is foolish. Waiting for Hispanics to protect you is foolish. It's insanity. So I really want Black women to understand that, yes, we all we got. And the way we understand that and the way we can actually make real change is by pouring into each other and pouring into things that we can directly do to help each other, as opposed to waiting on the white man to help us. Like, what? Why would we do that? Go ahead, Nada, we think.
So I think I was misunderstood. Other races of women have a vested interest in ending femicide and misogyny and sexism because they also are impacted by it, not for the benefit or to save Black women and Black children. I was not speaking from that perspective. I brought up the past, like feminist movements, to show that when you show that this is not, you're not like, domestic violence and sexual harassment were the two examples I brought up. Yes, Black women face that, but so do white women, so do Asian women, so do Indian women, so do Native American women. The reason why they came together to end those things is because they had a shared interest. I am not seeking saviors from Black women, Black men, Asian women, Asian women. I don't believe in saviors. I don't even really believe in allies. And I disagree so wholeheartedly with the idea that Black people or Black women are like what are going to be the help, because in Chicago, where I am at, we just had a Black woman DA. Her name was Kim Fox. Kim Fox was the person that let a lot of these killers free to go on to commit femicide. An example, there was a Black male that was in prison. Well, it's not just Kim Fox's fault. It's also a part of the judge's fault. But there was a Black male that was released from prison, and he was released from prison, like the thing I brought up earlier about the no cash bail, and afterwards he was in prison for domestic violence. I believe it was attempted murder. And after he got released, he went to the woman's house that he attempted to unalive, and her son intervened and he ended up unaliving the son. And that happened under a Black DA, and that also happened under a Black mayor. Mayor Brandon Johnson is a Black man. Currently, Chicago has a lot of high crime, and what Brandon Johnson's solution has been is to keep funneling money to nonprofit organizations that are not effective in solving the problem. Just recently, and by recently I mean this weekend, one of the organizations that Brandon Johnson has created, I think it's like the Peacekeepers organization, they are now being tried with murder with unaliving a man after they finished robbing some stores on the downtown Michigan Avenue. I think that I'm speaking from a policy proposal. I'm not speaking from a save me white people or save me black people. And I'm speaking from a democratic. If we get enough numbers from all the races of people, then something can change. This is not about saviors. This is not about allies. This isn't even about, I know racism plays a part, but so does sexism and misogyny. And just as you all are willing to stand toe to toe with black people, in spite of them being misogynist, in spite of them internalizing racism, in spite of them internalizing white supremacy, in spite of them being patriarchal, you can do the same thing for other people. I'm not asking you to be their allies. I'm not asking you to be their saviors. I'm not asking you to like or love them. You don't have to respect them. You can act in your self-interest. They can act in their self-interest. And you both have a similar shared self-interest. White women don't want to be killed because they're women. Asian women don't want to be killed because they're women. Black women don't want to be. You don't need to like white women. You don't need to ignore their racism. Just to have a policy to help you. And this is my problem, because I think that the way that you all are thinking about this, it's way too bootstrappy. It's way too much. We got, but no, the we is not effective. That's why my name is not a we thing, because this whole we, no, this doesn't help. I'm in Chicago. I live in predominantly black neighborhoods. They don't care whether it's sex trafficking, whether it's gangbanging, whether it's drug dealing. The black people are going to defend the perpetrators at the detriment of the black men and women and children that are innocent. That's been happening. That's been happening on the local federal board. So I think that if you all would just be a little bit less emotional, a little bit less reactive. I understand these are very sensitive topics, and I understand that. But I am not asking for saviors. I'm not asking you to like white people or Asian people. I'm not asking you to do anything except you act in your self-interest. You act for your well-being. You have a common denominator. I mean, you have a common interest with them because of misogyny and sexism. You do not have to, ignore their racism. But it's very funny that you all have, I wish, I don't know. I think that a lot of black women have this very one-sided loyalty to the black community, and you think that because we share skin color, that our shared skin color or our shared blackness should override our ideologies and our well-being, and I just disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna start here and say this. Number one, I really don't like it when people are having a discussion and they devolve into calling people emotional. Nobody's emotional. I think that all of the women here were very passionate about the things that they were saying, but I don't think that anybody would be emotional about something that we've been seeing here definitely over the past 3-4 days. People that put white people in a position of feeling like there's some type of moral superiority, or they're better, or they can help and save us. I think we've seen nothing if not seeing that type of thought process is prevalent amongst the black men and definitely among black women. I think we've all seen it. So I don't think anybody is emotional or surprised at anything that you had to say. I think we've all heard it before. But I will say this, is that you mentioned the black DA and the fact that she let this black man out and all of this other thing. There are plenty of white female DAs that have done the exact same thing. There are plenty of white male DAs that have done the same thing. Why? Because the issue is the justice system, and it fails oftentimes people of all races. White women, black women, Asian women, Hispanic women, Latino women, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I also think that now I get where you're coming from. You're coming from the point that democracy, that politics is going to save the black community, or is going to save black women. If that was going to happen, it would have already happened. Democracy is a joke. You don't see what's going on right now. You really think that passing a bill or voting or doing any of these things is really going to save black women and stop people from being misogynistic or stop black femicide? That
Allow
doesn't
us
make.
to, I'm
Please let
sorry.
me finish. I didn't interrupt you. As I was saying, that's absolutely insane to even think that way. And once again, when you said that black women have this one-sided loyalty or whatever, have this loyalty to the black community, I think that when we say these things, we don't take it for what it is. White people don't care about other white people. White people only care about other white people if they can use that and weaponize that to enact harm against somebody black or somebody of another race. White people do not care. They didn't even talk about the school pew-pewings that went on. Why? Because they don't care. You never hear white women when something happens to a white woman, when a white man come in there and pop everybody's top off in the household, the kids, the dog, himself. You never hear about white women talk about white femicide, what's going on? Why are these white men unaliving us? They never talk about it. The reason why they don't talk about it is because they do not care. So my thing about it is trying to make it seem as if Black people talking about, hey, let's talk about this, making it seem like it's a race issue. It's just that Black people tend to care about what's going on with other Black people more than other races do, because a lot of other races don't care. And specifically, since we're talking about the saviors and the passing of laws, that you think that we would have to address that with Black people. So I just wanted to say, when you talk about passing the bill and all of these things, that's not going to stop femicide at all. What it will do, however, is cause a lot, oftentimes, like with the other bills that you mentioned, it causes over policing. So what they will do is go into the Black community, do all of these things, and while the people that are committing a lot of the femicide, which is also white men, it will go completely unanswered. And I just wanted to say that. I want to say it again. White people do not defend crime, do not defend wrongdoing, do not care about none of it unless they're talking about a Black person. Okay? And I really did this whole idea of you saying that people were yelling and screaming. Nobody was yelling and screaming. I know I wasn't. This is just the way that I talk. But if you were in my lives a lot, you would know that. But I'm not yelling at anyone. But I think that oftentimes people start trying to tone police you and talk about the way that you say things when they don't have a rebuttal to your argument. So they start saying other things, trying to pick at that because they can't pick at the meat of what you're saying. So, like I said before, you're coming from it, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. You're coming from it from I dare I say, I really don't want to say it, but I'll say it. The point of view you're coming from is coonish. You're engaging in coonery right now. Period. It's point blank, period. You think that democracy, passing bills, aligning with the white people, why you guys want to be around Black people? You want to keep it in house. Let these white people in. These white people, you are talking about white people saving us. You may try to package it in a different way. That's what you are talking about doing. Now, I don't know what you got going on. If you live in Chicago, you live in the hood, so you're around hood boogers every day. So now you feel like that's representative of all Black people. I don't know. I implore you to change your circle. You know what I'm saying? Get into a new neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Because I will say that in certain depressed communities, certain communities where there's nothing but poverty, the people become depressed, the people become angry, so the people engage in certain types of behaviors. And that is like a known thing that goes on. But maybe you might want to get out of there and live somewhere else that maybe you can actually think clearly. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I'll just say that regardless of anything that you said, white people are not the answer. None of the things that you said is the answer. And the fact that you would even think that democracy and voting, when we have Donald Trump in office, that is, don't listen to nothing that's being said, that's completely eradicating and erasing and tearing down things that have been here for decades, is insane to me. Like, I don't even understand how you could even think that that is a feasible course of action. It doesn't make any type of sense at all. Completely illogical. Makes no sense. Look at what we're going on right now. You think that's the way to go? Okay. Let me go up here to I think it was Cheska that had something to say in response, and then I'm gonna go to Chilotel.
Oh no, I didn't have anything to say. I mean, I'm just in the comments, just big up in y'all. But yeah, it unfortunately, yeah, it did give a lot of coonery. It gave a lot of contradictory. It gave, hey, I'm not saying we need a savior, but we need a savior, and we need this to look at the people who would step on our skulls in half a second. So yeah.
All right, Cheska, I got you. All right, I'm gonna go down here to Chilotem. I'll start your timer for you, sis. Go ahead, Chilotem.
Hi, Triggered. Good morning. Hi,
Good morning,
everyone
sis.
in the panel. Forgive me if I cough a little bit. I'm under the weather.
I hope you feel better.
Thank you. I wanted to piggyback off of what Gabrielle was saying about anti-intellectualism, because I strongly believe that it's one of the reasons why there's an ongoing lack of empathy in a lot of people. And I don't want to sound too I don't know. I don't want to. I don't know if the word is like to politicize things or to sound too woke. And when I say woke, I don't mean it in a bad way. But I do feel like, especially as somebody who is very invested in academia, I feel like, how people keep looking down on the humanities and they just want to focus so much on STEM kind of also leads to where we are in society today. Because as a humanities major, you look at life differently. You see people as people. And when you talk to, and I used to teach STEM students in college as well. So I see this stark difference between the humanities and people in STEM and how, it just the focus on STEM these days, and I know it may not seem like a lot, but the focus on STEM and just the eradication of the humanities kind of has brought us to where a lot of people don't have empathy for others, and human beings are just seen as consumers and not as people. So I wanted to make that point. And then regarding excuse me, regarding the diaspora, and I always like to weigh in on this one because I feel like I've had both sides of the or I can understand both sides of the quote unquote divide, talking about Africans and African Americans, and we've talked about this before. But please let me land, okay? I do feel like the reason why a lot of African people come off as quote unquote coonish is because they don't view things through the lens of race, right? And in America, you have to view things through the lens of race. And that's probably because we come from majority black countries, so we see bad black people every day. But then that ignorance, when they move to the States, just translates, like they bring their political ideologies from their African countries and think that it applies to the States. Meanwhile, things are very, very different here. And I will also say that I have noticed that it's mostly the men who do this, because I'm in a lot of, like, I'm trying to make new friends down in my city. And the friends that I'm around, most of them are maybe Nigerians who grew up here. Maybe their parents moved here. And then they've also made other Black American friends. So my circle is very mixed with both sides, right? The ladies will never, like, you never hear anything from the ladies like, oh, Black women are lazy, or all those very disgusting stereotypes you see in the media. I always hear this from the men. And I'm also saying this as somebody who is very active on social media, especially on Twitter. You see a lot of them. Like, these people have not even crossed the Atlantic, but they have so many opinions about how Black Americans view everything through race. And I keep trying to tell them that it's so easy for you to say these things when you don't live here. Like, you have such an idealistic way of thinking that you don't realize that things work differently in other countries. Sometimes it gives main character syndrome, and sometimes it's just like plain ignorance. So when they bring stuff like that around me, when conversations like that start happening around me, I just shut it down. And over this
I'll give you
past
one more
week,
minute.
oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe I'll circle back. But over this past week, I had to block so many people because it's just like they kept saying so many irritating things. I try not to talk too much about politics because I'm an immigrant and I have to protect myself, if I'm being honest. So I can't really say my thoughts and opinions the way I really want to say them, and I do have a lot of those. But it's the ignorance just really it's astounding, and I have to say that I often just see it from the men and hardly from the women. So as usual, I try to do my own part to kind of bridge the gap and not necessarily change people's minds. 'Cause I feel like you can only do so much when it comes to adults, but at least people are scared to say certain things around me because they know I will shut it down. And I'll just land my plane there.
All right, all right. I appreciate you, Chilo Tam. I think that you're always the a good voice, and also just a good way for people to pick the brain of an African woman, a Nigerian woman that came over here, so that you can hear, so that people can hear your thoughts and perspectives and get a little bit more clarity. I just wanted to say really quickly though, for anybody that doesn't know me, for anybody that just popped up in this live, I just want to say my loyalty is to Black women and Black women only. I used to be pro-Black. I am not. I haven't been pro-Black, which includes Black men and Black women, for years. Like, at least about 4 years, maybe longer than that, but definitely around that time. My loyalty is to black women and black women alone. However, if I feel like your ideology is dangerous as a black woman, or I feel like what you're saying causes harm to black women, or I feel like you're engaging in coonery or self-harm or things that will bring harm to other black women, then I just identify you as not being able to come with us. I just kind of take you out of the, oh, you're my sister, and put you over there in the pile that I put everybody else in. The pile that I put black men, the pile that I put white men in, the pile that I put white women in, the pile that I put everybody else in that is not a black woman. So I just really wanted to say that. I just want anybody to understand that my loyalty is and forever will be to black women and black women alone. And in 2025, if you don't realize that, of course, not every black woman is going to be on your side. Of course, not every black woman is going to be your bestie. Of course, not every black woman is even going to have the same mentality or the same experiences that you do. But if you don't realize in 2025 that your best shot in an already shaky future is your best investment would be into black women as opposed to anybody else, I don't know what to tell you. Because if you think that investing into black women or trusting them is risky, which it could be. Hey, if you're around certain type of people, that could be the case, right? But how more risky do you think it is to invest that in other races of people? And if you think that it's not a bigger risk to invest in other races of people or other groups, other demographics, whatever, then that means that you also have been deeply affected by white supremacy, that you feel like your people or black women are way worse than other groups of people when other groups of people have shown you nothing but violence, discrimination, disrespect, have disrespected you on your job, have given microaggressions to you. Men have preyed on you, have raped you, have done all of these things. I don't understand how you could feel that way when history and time has shown you that nobody is on your side. So if we're saying that black women aren't on our side, oh, black women, we can't trust black women either. It sounds bootstrappy to say that. Okay, well, if you say that, then what does that mean for other races of people? Then that means they're just as bad. So that means that black women are just out here alone. As I said before, of course, not all black women are going to be your best buddy, but your best bet would always be betting on the black woman because that's going to be the highest percentage of somebody at least giving two craps about you. Will all black women care? No. But that's your best option if we're talking about looking at risk. Reducing risk, looking at the best option, that's your best option, whether you want to accept that fact or not. It's just the truth. So that's my thing, is that I don't really appreciate any black woman that would come in and say that investing or trusting in black women is the worst thing that we can do. That it'd be better if we trust in the laws and white people and democracy. That's so nuts. That's like so nuts that you might as well just go out in the street like Martin was doing when he was tweaking all of them years ago. You might as well just go out there and start yelling at traffic, because what are we really? That's what you think? And if you think that, there's something wrong, something deeply wrong, and I can't help you with it. Let me go down here to Gabrielle. If you had anything to say, Gabrielle.
Yeah, I definitely hear where everyone is coming from. This is just my opinion. Like, collectively, I don't think the BLK community, like, I don't think there's any collective action that's gonna save it. Like, and I just think we all have to do what's best for us as women, as BLK women, as individuals. Like, I don't think there's gonna be like a collective, like, lifting. Like, I know it might be controversial, but I mean, obviously, we should, trust in each other, and, like, I'm trying to think of how to put it, like, obviously, no other race is better, obviously, but I just don't think like that the BLK community is gonna, collectively really, improve for, like, a bunch of reasons, unfortunately. I mean, I think it was it not a we thing she was talking about, like the crime rate in Chicago. I mean, if you can, and if you can, like, move out of Chicago or move to, like, a safer area. I think Trigger mentioned something like that in the chat. I mean, that might be a good idea, because I mean, just like, I don't think the BLK community is going to collectively lift, regardless of, like, we do, or like, the other ladies in the chat do, like, I don't think Chicago is going to become, any more safe. I mean, I really do think, and this is just my opinion, but I do think with the way that things are going, especially in the United States, I think it's increasingly becoming almost like everyone for themselves. Like, I mean, like a lot of people like collectively in this country are losing it. I mean, so I don't know. Someone said we are literally the mothers of the world. Well, but why do we have to be the mothers of the world though? Like, I mean, like, what does that even mean? Like, can someone explain to me what that means? Like, we're the mothers of the world, or
You know what, Lily, did you want to come up, sis, and respond to that?
yeah, because I would just love to hear what that means so I can respond to it. Because
I mean, okay. So Lily said in the comments that it started with us, and okay, here she's coming. She's coming up right now.
okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lily.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning, Lily.
So basically, I'm just saying that it all started with us. Unfortunately, we've breastfed half of the world. We've, I mean, we are the blueprint. It's been stated and you realized over and over again. Like, do I want that for us? No. Do I, want us to be mammified? No. But the reality is, everybody looks to us. So for us not to look to us is ridiculous. We are literally all we have. Nobody else is
What
coming to save us.
What do you mean when you say everyone looks to us? So, like, what does that mean?
People look to black women for support. People look to black women for help.
For
The same way you have,
inspiration,
like,
for
people say, oh, if I'm in
everything.
danger, look for a black woman and things like that.
Yeah, we could just tell them no, that like we don't have to, like, I mean, I was like actually like on a flight coming back, I think it was from Finland, like back in July, and there was this lady who asked me, I guess she and her mom were flying, like they were flying, but I guess they booked different seats, and she looked at me, she's like, oh, do you mind if I sit there? And I just like very, politely, respectfully, because we're on a plane and all that stuff, I just told her no, I'd rather keep my seat. And it's just, stuff like that. Like, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Lily. Everyone looks to us, but at the end of the day, we can just say no, like, figure it out yourself respectfully, like I just really think that is the way to go, because I don't like, I just don't think there's gonna be, a collective, upgrade, or, like a collective shift upward. So that's why I was asking what you meant when you said we're the mothers of the world, because we really don't have to be, like, we really can just focus on ourselves and, what's good for us, and, let other people, do whatever they have to do for themselves and deal with whatever they have going on. But I just think saying that we are the mothers of the world, like, I think it was someone in the comments said that gives off mammy vibes. It really, really does give off like mammy vibes to help. Like, everyone comes to us. Like, we don't have to
And
do
I
that.
totally agree. And I'm not advocating that that's what we should be doing, but the reality
Yeah.
still stands. That is how we are seen. Everybody comes to us for everything: inspiration, help, motivation, fight. Like,
Yeah,
black
I get what
women
you're
have, you know what I mean? Like, Trina,
Yes,
like, I'm
yes.
not,
I get what you're saying,
okay.
Lily. Even when it comes to like imitation, like
Yeah.
black culture, black women, what we do, our features, our bodies, our personalities. There are people that aren't even black that are able to build careers and millions of dollars based on an imitation, a mere imitation of what we are naturally. So I totally get what you're saying. I don't think that Lily was saying that that's what we need to do. I just think she's saying that that's just what we are. And I do believe that there are a lot of black women that can't even help it. Like, some black women are just like, they do these like little social engineering studies where they'll something to be going on, right? And a black woman to just stand up and be like, nah, that ain't right. Don't do that. Because I just think that a lot of those things is just inherent in black women. Maybe that should be something that we should work on doing. But I do think that inherently black women are just more helpful and just more empathetic to people. And I think that's just in the nature of a black woman. Not, of course, not every black woman, but I'm saying I do think that that is something that's inherent in us. But I do think we do need to work on looking to ourselves and just pouring all of that that we have into just each other. And but I did want to say really quickly to address like something that Nada We Thing said earlier, because I think a lot of times when we talk about crime and stuff like that, we always make it seem as if that is just like a black issue. Like people talk about the hood, the hood, the hood. Because when I mention the hood, I also mean that there are places where black people reside, because people say like, hey, I just want to be in a place where my people are at. There are places around the United States where there are a lot of black people that reside. That's not the hood. That's not the ghetto. That the people are middle class or even upper middle class or even rich. Like you can take your time to go bring out your phone and Google and look up like rich black suburbs, prosperous suburbs, middle class black suburbs where there's a lot of black people around, but it is affluent. Not everybody is broke down and poor and all of that other stuff. So I just wanted to say that. Also, I wanted to mention that West Virginia, which is around 95% white, has a very high homicide rate. Montana, South Dakota, Kansas, Indiana, Oregon, all very white states have homicide rates 2 to 3 times more than that of Queens, New York, which is a very diverse place with a lot of black people and other people in it. So I really want to say that the reason why probably the people that are even talking about that doesn't know that is because oftentimes we as black people are taught to only focus on what black people are doing. We're never to focus on the fact that when people talk about the crime rates and all of this, like the black men and black on black crime and black homicide, nobody talks about the other flip side of that. Upper 50% of white people that are unaliving each other. Why do people never mention that? I don't know. Nobody talks about the rates of child molestation, child trafficking, robbery, burglary, theft, which is all in higher rates committed by white people. We never hear about any of these type of things. And I think that's because a lot of times black people have internalized that they're the boogeyman, that they're the worst of the worst, that it's only black people doing these type of things. And I really would implore anyone that has these thought processes to please take your time to actually research and not take for face value what white people have told you or what lost, uneducated black people have told you about yourself. And this isn't to say that black men don't be doing stuff. This isn't to say that the crime rate isn't high amongst black men, not among black women, but amongst black men. That's not to say that that is not true, that they not wilding out there in Chicago or wilding out there in St. Louis or wilding out there in Memphis and other places, because that's absolutely true. But all I'm saying is that it's not just us. And I don't even want to say us because it's never black women. I'll just say that it's not just black men. And the only reason why I even want to bring up black men is because for some reason, we still get lumped up with black men. That's all I'm saying. And I really don't even mean it to try to give black men an out. It's really to say, why look at white people as your savior when they are doing the same thing? They just don't televise what they're doing. I think that's more what I'm trying to go to and say. And like Fabiola says that we don't care about other people. We cannot care about white people all day. I don't care about white people. But what I care about is people trying to make it seem as if black people, we're the ones doing everything, or we need a white person to come in and save us and tell us something when their community isn't that good either. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it. Like, don't make black people, yes, or black women or black men the face of crime and criminality and wrongdoing when white people do the same and even worse and even more egregious things. That's all I'm trying to say. Yeah. So I didn't really think that this conversation was gonna go down this road, because it's just like I would think that certain things would already be understood. And not a we thing. I guess I'm gonna let you. But I really don't like the fact that you tried to shade me several times. Like, just go
No,
ahead.
Triple,
Like,
I was not trying to shade you.
you
I've
called
never.
me classes. You called
Yeah,
me classes, and it's
Trigger,
like,
you that is being
it's
classes.
not being classes. It's not being classes to tell you that you're talking about how bad the hood is, how bad all of these Negroes are around you, and how they're doing all of this unalive, and how they're doing this, that, and the third. And this is the reason why you feel this way, that you need to go somewhere and have somebody pass a crime bill against black people, and we need to look to white people to help us out. That is exactly what you were saying. Like, and you know what? It's crazy because I be trying to make this space, and I'm gonna say this. I said this already, but y'all want me to make this space for black women to express themselves and to say how they feel, but then y'all want me to let people try to be low-key shady to me. Like, and y'all want me just to accept that. But then if I say something, then it's like, oh, why did you say that? Because I saw people in the comments saying that. And I don't think that's cool. Like, if people can say something to me, then I'm gonna say something to them. I don't know what type of Mother Teresa, even though Mother Teresa wasn't really what they said she was, but I don't know what type of figure y'all feel like y'all gonna pigeonhole me into. But whatever y'all think, y'all not gonna do that because I'm a person with real feelings too. And if you get smart with me, I'm gonna get smart with you. If you say something shady to me, I'm gonna say something shady to you. I'm not about to be in here like, oh, she's a black woman. I'm gonna let her play in my face. I don't know what some of y'all in the chat are smoking on, but y'all smoking on something severe if you think that's gonna happen. Like, for real. I'm a person just like you. And if you wouldn't want nobody talking crazy to you, how do you think I feel? Like, what? Like, no, yes, you said that the people were being emotional and they were not. That's tone policing. Nobody was being emotional. Nobody was on here crying. Nobody was on here hooting and hollering. All people did was speak with passion. And that's okay. Like, that's something that people do when they're losing an argument. That's what white people do. They start focusing on your tone of what you said rather than what you said. And you did do that. Go
Karen, I
ahead. Go
did not
ahead.
do that.
All
I
right.
preface my statement saying I understand that this is an emotional topic and this is a sensitive topic because my point, and I'm going to keep with my point. My whole thing was not about black community versus white community. That's a very common tactic that black people love to do whenever it's time to talk about black people. You cannot have a black community, especially a functioning, healthy black community, a safe black community, if whenever there's times to talk about problems, you deflect to what other people are doing. And then you assume, first of
Oh
all,
my God.
no,
No,
wait,
no, no,
no,
no.
wait.
You're not about to do that. You're not about to do that. You're not about to do that. That's not what you did. You said up here several times that we needed to look for white people. Wasn't trying to deflect off to black people and say, oh, our black men aren't doing this or black men aren't doing that. I only said that because you made it seem as if white people are the ones that need to be in charge. You said something about keeping it in house, that black people shouldn't keep it in house, that black people should let other people come in. Who's making the laws? Who's making the rules? That's white people, right? So you're saying that white people need to come in and regulate what's going on in the black community. And what I said is, why should white people be in charge of regulating anything when the majority of them are racist, degenerates, or complete psychopaths, or at the very least, aggressively and violently racist against the people that they are supposed to be regulating. That's what I said. I'm not deflecting nothing because at the end of the day, I am pro-black woman, not pro-black men. So I could really care less what you say about black men and crime in the black community because the majority of crime in the black community is never being committed by black women. We're never doing none of that. I'm not saying it's not some black women that are doing it, but the 95% plus of the time, it's not us. So why would I be trying to do that? That don't even make no type of sense. Why would I need to deflect about something that does not involve me? Like, for real. And I don't even like black men collectively. So why would I say that? And if people say, oh, she got a black husband, she's doing it for him. My husband has never been arrested, never been to jail, went to school. So he don't even belong in the category that anybody would even say. This man ain't ever even been arrested. So what am I talking about? So he's never even, oh, he was just right here. He said he's never did any drugs. Like, he's never even smoked weed before. Like, I have, but he hasn't. So I'm not even, why would I deflect about anything? So please
No,
don't put that on me. Don't
no,
put that
Trish,
on me.
but you just proved my point, and please let me land my
No,
plane.
I'm not.
I
I'm not.
think
I'm
that
not. I'm not gonna let you prove nothing. And for anybody that says that I have a right to do what I want to do on my life. And you're not going to prove nothing. You're not going to lie on me. You're not going to try to say that I said something that I didn't say. You're not going to come up here and act like white people have the right to be the moral police. I'm just, with all of this Charlie Kirk stuff, I'm tired of the coonery. Okay? And if people want to say, oh my gosh, this isn't a safe space for black women. Well, you know what? Maybe you're right. It's not a safe space for coons. I'll just, the cat's out the bag. If you're a coon, we're not gonna align. And you're probably gonna get kicked out. And I'm probably not gonna rock with you. And I will be blocking that woman as well. Hold on. Let me click your page right now. So I'll screenshot you so I see you. Or matter of fact, I'll just block you right now. Hold on, just 1 second. Yeah, let me block you. Let's see here. Blocked. Yeah. You're blocked. Like I said before, so if y'all want to say that, peace and love. I don't know who you are, but you about to get blocked too. Cause I can block who I want. Okay. And I blocked her. And I will block anybody that's a coon. And it's just that simple. I don't even know what else to say. I really just this I don't really like it when people try to make it seem as if I'm saying something that I'm not. I didn't deflect at anything. I didn't try to protect black men. All I was saying is because of the way things are, why would you want white people to feel comfortable and feeling like they can be some type of moral compass for the black community? That's it. Like that doesn't make any sense. She's the same person that would say like Charlie Kirk was right in some of the things that he said about black people. That doesn't make any sense. Oh my God. I'm about to end this live, y'all. And I think from now on, I'm gonna stay away from like topics about politics. Let me go ahead and yeah, I think I'm going to stay away from these topics because I think that I don't know. I don't know if the majority of people understand what I'm saying or not, but honestly, I can't wrap my mind around anyone feeling like white people should be the moral compass for black people or white people should be able to come in the black community and make laws and say, let me regulate on you lawless Negroes. Let me regulate on you black men that are harming black women, which is definitely happening, which definitely needs to be addressed. But they will do that to black people while totally ignoring that they pop the muffin caps back on their white women, their white children, their white dogs, anytime they get irritated about anything. I just don't understand why you would ever place yourself in a position of thinking that white people can help us or that white people are even willing and want to help us. If white people are passing a bill to help black women in any way, understand that there's something that comes behind that you don't want coming behind it. Because at the end of the day, white people do not care about black women losing their lives. When do you hear white people talk about black femicide? Can you give me 5 creators that you know that are Caucasian? They can be male or female that you hear talk about white femicide? Huh? Please let me know. Where do you hear about white tea people, as I said earlier, saying, hey, you know what? We got a lot of stuff going on in the white tea community. You know, a lot of us are molesting children and looking at child abuse material. Like, you know what I'm saying? Looking at child abuse material. We're looking at it on our phones and on our computers. Wow. Where the black people at to make some laws for us? Where the black people at to check our behavior? Do you ever hear that? Will you ever hear that? That's all I'm saying. Will you ever in your life hear white tea people say that they want black people to be the moral compass for them? That they want black people to regulate what's going on in their community? Will you ever hear that? Okay, so that's all I'm saying. Why would you want white people to do something that they feel like it's beneath you to do for them? That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to pander. I'm not trying to protect black men. I'm not trying to silence black women. But my God, like, how much do y'all want me to hear coonery for free? Like, I'm not going to be tortured with coonery for free. I don't make no money off these lives. Ain't nobody giving me no money. When I click, if we want to talk about what y'all got to pay me to torture me. Like when I get done with these lives for 3 hours, 2 hours of my life, when I could just be kicking it with my family, but I try to bring awareness to things. You know what it says I made in my life? $1.05, 95 cents. So you think I got to listen to somebody saying stuff that I don't want to hear and trying to shade me for the free? Like please don't. I don't think that's fair to me. I love black women, but I don't think that some of y'all in the comments are being fair to me. I don't. And I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right for y'all to treat me that way. Anyway, I'm about to get emotional I am going to get emotional about that. So let me just go on and chill, bro, before I get emotional on this live. Let me go down here to Calandra and then I'll go to Miss Chrissy, baby. Go ahead, Calandra.
I just want to say you were right. I don't think you were wrong about anything that you said to her. I think that She lost me at so many points. I don't even want to go into that because, like you said, we're not talking about politics. But I don't think you were wrong for what you said to her. Poverty and crime do relate. I mean, I really hate to say that. Poverty and crime kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, I really hate to say that, but for you to get up here and say the stuff you're saying when that orange man in that office is about to send the military in to harass and over police you, she lost me at that. And then I'm sorry, but anytime black people start saying black people always say white people this and white people that, that gives Michael Epstein sparkle. And if you ever seen that movie, you know how he acted. And yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted, I thank you so much, Kalandra. And I just wanted to say again, when we talk about crime, I really want you guys to understand that poverty and inequality are the strongest predictors of crime rates. And that just isn't in the United States, it's globally. It has nothing to do with your skin color. If you are poor, if you are disadvantaged, if you grow up in an environment where nobody cares about anything that's around you, like where I live at, you know what I'm saying? I like to go to like the hood sometimes. I don't even like to use terms like that. I'll just say an urban area, whatever you want to call it. I go get me some earrings, or I go get me like them little moo that I like to wear around the house or whatever. I noticed that those are in like maybe a city trends or something like that, or other rainbow or whatever type of places that people go to get stuff like that. And when I go in there, I notice that people don't take care of the grass around. People don't take care of the trees, the foliage or whatever. I forgot, the landscaping is not taken care of, right? And then you see that it's trash and junk everywhere. When you have that type of environment that people live in, it starts to weigh on them mentally to where they feel like, wow, nobody cares about us. So nobody cares about me. And then you start not caring about the people that are around you. And then if you're poor, you're in poverty, you don't have any equality with other people, that creates a hotbed of bad behavior. And that's all I was trying to say, is that to just try to just make it seem as if a lot of things are not pushed by the environment that we live in. And once again, I'm only talking about this in relation, because I'm not even trying to protect black men at all. All I'm saying is that a lot of these ideologies that some black people have gotten to believe, that black people is just us, is just us, is just us, is because of the ideas that put in them by racist white tea people. That's it. That's all I'm trying to say. And yeah, like I really, it seems like people will understand that when people talk about facts over feelings, like these are actual facts that you can research yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. You can look up poverty and inequality and look up, does that have a correlation to crime and violence? Like it does. Like, but anyway, let me just keep going. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy, baby.
Hey, I'm sorry about the whole in-house thing because I think there was more nuance to what I was saying and maybe I didn't articulate it um properly. I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is what we always talk about every day, or at least I do, and I know you do, Triggered, is Black women, we really are all we have. And there's things within ourselves that we can fix and unpack so we can protect ourselves and survive in this climate that we're living in right now. I think when we are talking about the Black men in our community, it's more on a, for at least for me, it's more on a treasonous aspect, because we should know after 500 years that we are heavily oppressed and dehumanized in this country. So how could you turn towards white supremacy alignment? You know what I mean? And in my opinion, I think Black women need to turn their backs on everybody. I think when we collectively do that and show that and stand on that, then honestly, I think everything will fall apart, because I think everyone, when it comes to oppression, suppression, whatever you want to call it, they thrive on the pain and the um, subjugation of a class of people. And I think if we're less mammying, I think if we're less if we just turn our backs, like literally, I mean, and that sounds extreme every time I say it, because when I say it, I mean it for a reason, where it's like, I'm not dealing with men in my community. I'm not dealing with men, period, because of misogyny. I feel like, in my opinion, I'm doing an act of protest by completely turning my back. I was definitely an advocate on Capitol Hill. I was definitely trying to make laws to protect the women and children in our community, but I'm not saying I'm just throwing up my hands and I give up and I don't care anymore. I just reshift my focus by looking at reality and seeing Black women are really out here on our own. And there's so many things that we can fix within ourselves. There's so many generational traumas that we can unpack ourselves. And I think when we really finally globally turn our backs on everyone, we're not your punching bag anymore. We are going to stand up for ourselves. We're not going to stick up for anybody but ourselves. Then maybe in not in our lifetime, people will finally see, like, dang, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't working. We don't have a punching bag that reacts to us anymore. I don't know if that made sense, but I'm trying.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. I think she blew me when she said that, like, Black women, basically she was just saying that we can't rely on each other, and that's crazy. And when I said that, like, Black women should rely on Black women and we should pour into each other, and just like you said, just focus on us. She said that sounded kind of bootstrappy. Like, what are you talking about? In what world is Black women pouring into each other not the way to go? Like, literally, we Black women support everybody and uplift everybody. If we took even 50% of all of that uplifting that we do for others and poured it to each other and really did that and really supported each other, we would be unstoppable. And I can't even believe, like I said, that she even said that. But I think all of it, all of the things that she was saying, the rhetoric that she was spewing was really irritating me. And I couldn't get it, because I think that some people don't like the tone that I speak in. And I can't help that. Like I said this when I first started doing lives, people would say that they didn't like the way that I spoke. So I would write on my hand, like, be quieter, be gentler, like, make my voice like more softer. And I would write it on my hand every time, and sometimes I would forget, and then I would look at my hand and then go back down to lowering my voice. And so now it's like, I'm just wondering if is my tone the problem? Like, do I need to speak softer? Because I don't know how what I said wasn't wrong in the things that I was saying. The only thing I'm ever pushing here is not for Black men to save us, not for white men to save us, not for anybody to save us. I feel like we as Black women are powerful enough that we can save ourselves. Now, of course, most of us are not going to be getting, you know what I'm saying, assault pew-pews and walking around with big rifles on our back. But I do think that we can do a lot. We can do a lot as Black women. You know what I mean? Like, and I just wanted to say real quick, because I do like to always interject like actual facts in, because I don't want anyone to say that I'm just giving my personal opinion. What she said about a crime bill being passed is actually insane. If we talk about the Violent Crime and Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, and that is what is used a lot, I just want you guys to know how that disproportionately harmed Black communities, right? Mandatory life sentences came with that. The bill implemented the three strikes law, which mandated life sentences for individuals with 3 or more felony convictions. Many states followed suit. But do you know, when all of these states that follow suit, do you know whose incarceration rates skyrocketed? Black Americans, even though, of course, white Americans were doing a lot of things as well. But lo and behold, nothing happened to them. When we talk about the expansion of the unaliving penalty, the law authorized the unaliving penalty for 60 new federal offenses, a punishment that has historically targeted who? Black communities. For 5 years after the bill passed, 74% of federal unaliving penalty recommendations were for people of color, 44% being Black people, almost 50%. What does that tell you? Who do these crime bills target? Once again, and if we want to say who cares about black men, fine. Increase penalties for youth as well. The bill created harsher penalties for youth, contributing to the school to prison pipeline for black children, who are twice as likely as white children to be disciplined by school resource officers. So once again, it also increased funding for policing, which increased police presence where? In communities of color, black people. So I really need y'all to know that all of these things disproportionately affected black communities. So when you say these things as if the only people that are going to be hurt by this or harmed by this, if you care about it, if you want to take black men out of it, cool. Black youth, black women, black girls will be affected by these things. And I really would like y'all to understand that for real. So it's like when you want white tea people to come in and help you do anything, they will never help you. What they will do is come in and wreck shop and destroy everything. But Cheska said she had something to say, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Cause this is just too much for me. I'm be honest with y'all, I won't be back no time soon. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. But so if y'all don't see me for a while, I'm okay. I'm just done with this for a little while. But I'll be making my videos still. But this whole live stuff, yeah. I'm Gucci on this. Go ahead, Cheska.
Oh no, I'm sure it's very disappointing to see, you know, and hear other people have those that opinions and stuff like that. But what I wanted to say was just like, so that's why it like blows me when I hear black people, especially, and I don't want to go back to the CK thing, but when they say, oh, well, we need to stop saying stuff because they're going to start a war with us. All the stats that you just said about the quote unquote war on drugs and the crime bills and stuff like that, what do they think that is? It is a literal war on us. Like there's been a war on us for like a long time. I'm just very confused just because it's not just because, well, the military is coming to us. I was going to say, well, just because the military isn't coming out to us, but it actually is now. So yeah, I just feel like people, I'm going to try to use my platform more to like bring out more of the facts, and like there's a huge misinformation, not even misinformation, it's just a lack of knowledge of history, because we have been programmed to think that the past is in the past. Mind you, that they're rolling out the red carpet for the past right now, and I'll land my plane at that.
All right. I got you guys. I appreciate you. Does anybody have anything else to say before I get out of here? Lily, did you have anything to say, sis?
I just want to say thank you, Trigger, for even having your platform. Like I said in the comments, I usually watch you on YouTube anyway. Um, and I rarely catch your lives, but I thoroughly enjoy myself when I do. And I'm very grateful to you. Like honestly, you are an inspiration, and we appreciate you. I'm pretty sure I can speak for the ladies here when I say that. So thank you, Trig. We love you, girl.
Thank you so much, Lily. I appreciate you, sister. Let me go down here. Gabrielle, did you have anything to say? Or Kalandra, before I get out?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for the live. I think this was definitely an interesting live, and I think it covered a lot of different topics that are really relevant, especially in 2025. And I know you said you're going to take a break from doing lives for a while, but I hope you'll still do them again at some point, because I really do enjoy coming in here and discussing with you and all of the other ladies who joined the panel. And yeah, I really look forward to these lives. But I mean, protect your peace, obviously, but I do hope at some point you'll come back.
All right, I got you. Kalandra, you got anything to say, sis?
I just want you to know that don't feel bad you can't say them. They have third grade reading levels. And so their brain doesn't go that far. That girl, that third, I'm telling you, like Gabby said, most of Americans have third, well, they say fifth grade, but I say third grade. Their brains do not go that far. Most of y'all cannot comprehend. So when you're telling them to go research, go do facts, they can't understand that stuff because they can't read it.
All right, I got you. I appreciate you, Kalandra, so much. And also I just wanted to talk about that. There was a 2023 study on tough on crime laws, like the three strikes and truth in sentencing, that also had a negative influence on birth outcomes for Black women. So also Black women were actively harmed by these laws as well, like I said earlier. So I just want to be clear here that these crime bills do not just affect Black men, they affect Black women as well. So any Black person that is advocating for this, is really insane. And I feel like you can't be educated on exactly what goes on. And I say this all the time, like, if you really want to be educated on things, you have to educate yourself on people that you don't like and people that you do like. And that is something that I do often. I lurk in plenty of white spaces on purpose, and other racist spaces as well, and Black spaces. That way I cannot be unaware of what goes on or feel like, oh, it's just Black people doing this, that, and the third. And I just implore anybody at all, just please, please, please educate yourself. You don't have to believe me. Just go online and look this stuff up for yourself. And I know Kalandra said it's difficult for some people to do that, which is probably true, which is true. But try your best to do that. And that way you'll understand more when people are coming from. And I really think that when people advocate for like white people in any way to be the moral compass of Black people, I feel like you must not know. You must not know. You must not be educated on the history of America, of the history of the things that white people have done to Black people. And I'm not talking about people talk about, oh, 400 years ago. No, I'm talking about things that have happened in the 1900s, the 1910s, the 1920s, the 1930s. Like, you must not be aware. You can't possibly be aware, because if you were, you wouldn't say the things that you're saying. Like, for real. Like, you can't believe that. You can't believe that white people have, look at what they're doing right now. The white people right now want you to show mercy and sympathy for Charlie Kirk when they literally spent the last 5 years making fun of George Floyd. White people want you to feel sorry for Charlie Kirk when they were out here signing bags of Skittles. They were paying for signed autographed bags of Skittles that George Zimmerman signed, who unalived a young Black teenager that was doing nothing wrong but trying to go to the store. Like, what? Can you imagine if Black people were out here trying to buy like shirts with Charlie Kirk on it being unalived by the pew-pewer? White people would lose their freaking minds. But they have done things like that to us, and we just supposed to accept it. And not only are we supposed to accept it, but we think that they're the moral high ground. What? Like, any person, Black person, that will let that come out of their mouth, you instantly become an op to me. Like, I just no longer look at you. That's the reason why I could no longer hear the things that she was saying, because it was like, I couldn't stomach to hear it. Like, she was making me feel nauseous. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. I don't know when though. But I just say I love y'all. I love all of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. If you're a Black woman and you're listening to this, I do love you. I do appreciate you. And I do think that you're amazing. I really do. But I do think that sometimes, like, people think that this space is for them and not for me too. When I say that it's a space for Black women to speak their minds freely, it's for me too. At least I hope that it is. Like, I thought I could say how I feel too. Like, but anyways, I'll see you guys later. I love y'all and I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all weekend. See y'all later. Bye-bye.